A public transportation plan covering the Otago area was developed this year by the Otago Regional Council. It went out for public consultation and the bulk of changes were to be made in Dunedin. Those changes aim to provide faster and more direct routes for passengers. The ORC's Support Service Manager Gerard Collings is here to tell us more. Welcome. How wide ranges have any changes thus far been made?
Oh, look, Rebecca, in the changes we've implemented on 1 August, we've kept them to a minor because we're obviously in the process of a network review and we're keen to ensure that we don't implement changes now that might be changed as a result of the public consultation that's currently occurring.
So what has feedback been like from bus patrons?
Generally supportive. We've obviously made substantive changes to the timetable and route for the course defence services, where there was some changes made a couple of years ago. They weren't effective and we needed to address the decline in patronage from that area.
Are locals supporting the change?
It's too early to say at this point, but we have had positive feedback from the locals in relation to the changes we've implemented. We've also obviously modified and revamped the public timetable, and there's been some very positive feedback we've received in relation to the new layout and format from the general public.
What challenges are faced when providing public transport in a small city like this?
Well, the challenges in Dunedin are no different than the challenges in Auckland. It's trying to encourage people to utilise the service, and to do that we've really got to look at where people want to travel, how we get them there in a timely manner, and trying to make it affordable for the people travelling and the ratepayer to respond with the rates as well.
Now let's talk about the Regional Public Transport Plan. It has some long-term approaches to improving its services. What sort of changes may come out of that?
Well, currently under the draft plan we've got quite a change in network and the provision of services. We're looking at introducing services that provide for more direct coverage. Currently under the network we've got a saturated coverage network where we try and provide everything to all, which means it can be quite confusing for the public about which bus is going to travel where at any particular time. So the new network structure provides for a service where buses will follow the same route day in, day out, at night time as well. And we're also looking at providing consistency, frequency, long term on those services as well. So people won't rely on an irregular bus service. We can, for example, we've got a rapid frequency on some of the services. They'll provide a nice direct service through Dunedin on a 15-minute frequency long term. So people won't rely on the timetable necessarily to understand when the bus is going to travel through.
And you're also talking about having a central hub.
Yeah, we are looking at providing a central hub, and that's critical to the success of the network. Obviously, one of the inhibitors is not all buses travel to where people want to go. So what we're trying to provide is a central location where people can transfer to bus easily. And part of that transfer process is ensuring that it aren't penalised because they transfer from one bus to another. So within the RPTP, we've not only simplified or proposing to simplify the fare structure, we're also suggesting that when a person transfers from one bus to another, they're not penalised for that zone that they're within. And with the new ticketing system we're looking at trying to implement at the end of next year, that'll make that a heck of a lot easier to implement.
Any ideas as yet on where a central hub may be located?
Oh, look, we're still working through that with the key stakeholders such as the DCC, NZTA and the operators to try and make sure that we put it centrally located where it provides easy access to the central shopping area, the Octagon, but also accommodates ease of travel for the buses as well. So we're working through that process. We've got a number of locations that appear to tick the boxes, but we still just want to narrow it down before we...
And this draft plan is presently out for consultation?
Yeah, and it has been for the last 3.5 weeks. Consultation closes on the 22nd of August.
Which is only a couple of days away.
It is only a couple of days away. We've had a couple of open days at some central locations throughout the city. We've had quite a good response to date. There's been 75 submissions. We expect a lot more, as would normally occur in a process such as this.
How soon after the consultation period closes might we see some decisions made?
Decisions, Council will consider the submissions through October, November and make a decision at that point. Because there are some substantive changes, it's going to occur and be implemented over a couple of 3 years. So Under the new framework, we've got to have the new RPTP in place to allow us to tender new services. It's also a substantive move away from what we currently have, and as far as the new legislation that was introduced last year requires that all services are contracted, whereas that's not the case at the moment. We've got some commercial services where council have literally no control over.
ORC Support Service Manager Gerard Collings, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.